part of the reason why you took this job is because you kind of are exploiting men.
The thing about working in Vegas and be around men and be in little outfits, you gotta have thick skin.
And working with 30 other girls all in the same room, that in and of itself, I wish we could have a reality show.
Everyone thought I was stupid, and I loved it.
Changing 100, season 1, episode 1.
Hello.
It's our turn to tell our story. I guess we'll start by introducing ourselves.
Okay, yeah.
I'm Krystal.
I'm Tori.
We're party pit dealers.
Yes.
Party pit dealers in Vegas.
You know what's funny? I was literally just about to be like, we're party pit dealers at da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, yeah. No. Let's
You can't do that.
Mm-mm. I mean, there aren't that many party pits in Vegas. You might be able to find us if you look for us.
That's true.
I guess let's explain what party pit is. So we're dealers, table game dealers.
Yes. You know, when I first started this job, I used to tell people would be like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm a dealer. And they would look at me and I'd be like, really?
Yeah, they're like,
Is that really what you think?
Yeah.
But like, then I started saying table game dealers, or I'd tell people I deal blackjack. I'm like, oh, I deal blackjack.
if I know the person's completely lost, I'm like, blackjack dealer. And they're like, oh, like, what did you think I'm a? You really think I'm a drug dealer?
Right. No, that happens all the time. Every time I go home or something, people are like, what are you doing now? And I'm like, oh, I'm a dealer. And they like look at me and I'm like, you think that's what drug dealers say? Oh yeah, I deal drugs. But yes, party pit dealers. So party pit is a pit in the casino that's typically filled with girls in different outfits than the normal dealers wear. The normal dealers are like black and white dealers is what we call them. So here, let me go through my experience because I feel like you've been in the industry for so long and I haven't.
Long.
So not so long, but so when I got hired at our casino, we deal and then we dance. That's part of the draw of our party pit. We're considered dancing dealers. And so when I got hired, they put me on a box and they said dance. So they played a song for like 45 seconds. I danced. They took me off the box. I was dancing with another girl. They took both of us off. We stood in front of a panel of like 6 men and one lady. And they asked her every single question and didn't ask me a single question.
Really?
Really. They didn't ask me a single question. And I was like, okay, well, I didn't get it. Obviously, it's fine. You know.
Oh, you thought that? I would have thought the other way. I would have been like, got it, nailed it.
No. So I was like, okay, I didn't get it. Like, they didn't want to know any. They were asking her about her work history and why do you want to work for this company and what your experience is. Like, they didn't ask me anything. So we go into the next room. They call me to the table. Like, we're all waiting in chairs. They call me up as people are coming in. They call you. So I like go up to the table and I see her sheet of paper and it has all of our names on it and they all have notes. And next to my name, it just says yes.
Oh, see? Got it. Nailed it.
Got it. Nailed it. Didn't even realize it. So they held my interview audition like a dancing audition. So they gave us numbers. They told us to wear a go-go outfit. They put us on a box with lights and we danced in front of like a panel. And then they either hired you or they didn't. And then they sent me to dealing school.
That is so backwards from how I got into the industry.
That was like considered my break-in. So when you break in is when you're first new to the industry, you go to a break-in casino typically that hires new people to the industry. Like you're not going to top-notch casinos that have people that regularly play $10,000 hands. Like you don't get hired right off the bat like that. Like you need a lot of experience and then you kind of work your way up through the casinos. But that's how I got hired.
That is so different from my experience when I got hired.
So they put us in school. They said we had like 6 weeks to learn 3 games. And then like 2 weeks in, they were like, your audition is next week. And we only had learned 1 game. So a lot of us were scrambling. We all learned blackjack. There was like 10 of us. We all learned blackjack. And then me and like 2 other girls were learning roulette. And so we did our audition. All they did was audition us for blackjack. And then they told us our start date. And then we just started in the casino. We started working.
It sounds like so much fun.
It was fun. It was really stressful though. I remember my first day on the job, I was purely going off of people's reactions.
What do you mean?
So I was dealing blackjack And, you know, people like slam their chips when they lose.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be like, yeah, like they'll scream or they'll like lean back. Like people will lose and they already know that you're taking their money. So they'll like lean back. I was so nervous. I purely went off people's reactions. I was like, I guess you lost. I guess you won. And
oh my God. Oh, you mean that? Okay.
Yeah.
At first I thought you just meant like the way you felt about dealing. You were going off of people. No, you were going.
No, I was paying and taking money based off of people's reactions. So I'm almost 2.5 years in now. And there were times playing blackjack that people would be like, well, what did you have after I cleared all the cards? And I'd be like, I don't know what I had, but I know I beat you.
Yes.
Do you know? Like, because you stop counting after a while. You just know what you have.
I tell people all the time, it's patterns now in my head.
Yeah.
I see the numbers, but they're patterns like 7 and 5. I don't ever have to add those up ever. I already know it's 12.
Yeah.
And that's just it's the pattern. If I see a 7 and a 5, I know it's 12. I'm not sitting there like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, so same. If somebody goes, wait, what did you have? I'm like, I don't know. They're like, it just happened. I was like, I still don't know.
Yeah. And after I clear, I rarely deal blackjack anymore, but after I clear the cards, it's all gone.
Yeah.
People be like, wait, I thought I had this. And then I'll be like, I don't remember what you have. Like,
I don't remember.
After the cards are off the table, it's all out of my head.
So my experience, I started off in a card room in California at a casino called Garden City Casino.
You started in a card room?
Yeah. I started off as a chip runner on the poker floor.
What does that mean?
I got chips for poker players.
Like people would come in and give you money and they would do their buy-in that way?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would love that.
Oh, if you could hustle, I made so much money. So I started off as a chip runner, and then I had the opportunity at that card room to be a table games dealer, and they trained us there. I got trained on all the games, and I couldn't start until I learned all the games. And all the games for me was blackjack, 3-card, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, Pie Gout, and Baccarat. In California, you can't have roulette or craps, so I did not learn those games.
You don't have roulette with like the cards?
No, not
you
that either.
You don't have it at all?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
California casinos don't have roulette or craps because it's not considered a game of skill. It's considered a game of chance.
That's so interesting. We should look up the laws.
Oh, there's so many laws in California.
Laws. Yeah, because I know in Texas, you're not allowed to gamble at all, right? So people go to Oklahoma to gamble or whatever their neighboring state is. But I know in like Oklahoma, they have roulette, but they have it with cards. They're not allowed to have the ball.
I've heard of that. I've never seen it. I've never seen it
either, but we should look up different laws because that's interesting. I feel like Vegas is kind of the epitome of gambling.
Yeah,
like everything's pretty much allowed here.
Except if people don't know, because we have gambling and it's almost like a free-for-all, no lotto.
No lottery.
No lotto.
Don't have a lottery.
Yeah, we can't play the Mega Millions, can't play any of that. It's at like $1 billion right now. We have we have to drive to Arizona, California. I think those are the 2 closest places, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a solid 2-hour drive to
go get a ticket.
To get a lottery ticket.
Worth it if you win.
Right.
But
I don't know if I would drive 2 hours to chance it, to be honest. But that's
we have.
I do know a few people who have. I was going to say I do know a few people who have. I always buy lottery tickets when I'm traveling.
Yes, for sure.
I'm like, oh, let's buy one.
And then I have some tickets where I won like a few dollars and I'm like, well, I'm not going to go get this. So just throw it away. But okay, so I started there. I had the opportunity to learn all these table games. I did. And that's where I became a dealer. Moved to Vegas and wanted to deal, wanted to get in fast. And the fastest way to get into dealing here was to join a party pit.
Mm-hmm. I feel like party pits are party pits typically kind of break-in for break-ins?
I don't know because I came with experience and I immediately got hired at 3 properties doing party pit. And some girls who didn't deal, they had to go to school. So, and they didn't necessarily go into the same properties I got in.
Okay. I've only ever worked in one party pit. Now, I know I've heard stories of other party pits and how other party pits go, but I know for us, we work in a break-in casino in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I know like a lot of the girls we work with, a lot of the girls in our party pit don't have experience. Now they only hire girls with experience. Well, actually, I don't know.
Nope. We have.
So initially we used to have a contract with a school, a dealing school.
Oh, yeah.
And so you got hired and then they sent you to school, but then we don't have that contract. So for a while, they were only hiring girls with experience. And now they'll train you for like a week or two.
A 2 if you're lucky.
Yeah. And then you get girls like me that come in and just pay and take based off of reaction
feeling?
and not actually know.
Off of
I think I
reaction.
only did that for like 3 days though. And then I was like, oh, okay, I figured it out after that. I stopped being nervous after that.
That's the thing. You get so nervous when you first get on the table because you're like, this is a lot of money. Even if it's $25 a hand, feels like such a ton of money to keep taking from people when they're losing.
Yeah.
That it makes you nervous.
It's fast, yeah.
It's so fast.
Because I used to work in a cage before COVID. I worked in a cage in a strip club. Mm-hmm. And all I did was count money. So I wasn't really worried about the money handling of it or it being... I think I was more worried about messing up or people being like, nope, that was right.
You're a dealer, you're alone on the table.
Right. But at school, I remember like my instructors at school would be like, you have to hold your ground because players will take advantage of you. And honestly, in the 2.5 years I've done this, I really haven't had...
You haven't had people try to take shots?
I had one guy try and take shots and I shut it down immediately and he never tried again.
Okay.
But no, I never really
That's part of your personality then.
Yeah.
Because a lot of girls get really scared or nervous. So how many girls have you seen cry? I've seen a lot of girls cry.
I've never cried at a job. When I first got hired, there was a lady there who was in charge of just the party pit. Mm-hmm. The girls in the party pit. And when I first started, I started with a group of 5 girls. And they split us up in a group of 3 and a group of 2. And the girl I was with, me and her were like a little bit more advanced than the other 3 girls. And one of the things she told us, she was like, I don't think you girls are going to cry, but whatever you do not cry on the job.
Yeah, don't.
And we both like looked at each other because we were like made friends because we went to school together and then we were in the same group. So we just kind of like were buddies. And I was like, I've never cried on a job. And she's like, you'd be surprised. She's like, but whatever you do, just don't cry.
That's so funny that was very specific.
Yeah.
I was never told that.
She was like, whatever you do, don't cry. She's like, if you need to be taken off a table, just ask for me. She doesn't work there anymore. And they never replaced her position. But she was like, if you feel like you need to be off a table, just ask for me. She's like, don't cry on the floor. The thing about working in Vegas and working where you have to talk to men and be around men and be in little outfits, you gotta have thick skin.
You do. And you have to realize part of the reason why you took this job is because you kind of are exploiting men.
I mean,
we get exploited all the time. It's our turn to exploit, okay?
I think living in Vegas and being a female, a lot of the times what you're doing is because you're a female. Unless you work like a normal corporate 9-to-5 type of a thing. If you're doing anything on the strip, chances are you're doing something where you're a female and you look good and you hustle men and that's how you make your money. Yeah,
I mean, we're typically when you're in a party pit, so we talked about regular dealers wear long sleeves, vest, and slacks. Mm-hmm.
Like
party pit dealers, bras and skirts or corsets and booty shorts.
Corsets are popular.
And you're wearing go-go boots most of the time, if not some sort of high heel.
Yeah.
You're wearing fishnets.
Like high boots, fishnets, yeah.
Or one property was like almost still pantyhose, but like black see-through, like very thin, so very, sexualized type of uniform. So if you're a female and you're taking this job, you have to know like these men that are coming to your table are coming because of the whole package. Yeah.
Well, that's how you make your money.
Yeah.
Listen,
I mean, so yeah, I guess for those of you that don't know, party pit isn't everywhere. No, not every casino has a party pit. Party pit is a niche.
Yes.
Only certain properties. I think every property probably had a party pit at one point.
Probably.
And then for whatever reason they don't. Mm-hmm. We're regular. We can do everything a regular dealer does. We're just wearing little tiny outfits. And it's so funny being a party pit dealer. I've been told this many times by other staff, especially people who are there after us, before us, floor security. The other night, I was like, have a good night. It's your Friday. Only have a few hours, to one of the security guys. And he's like, it's going to be so boring. You guys leave, everybody leaves. They only come for you. Right. They're only here for you, ladies. They want to spend time with you. They want to sit at the table and talk to you for a few hours because, let me tell you, 8-hour shift, I've had players the whole 8-hour shift.
The whole 8 hours.
They stay there, and then once we leave, they go to bed.
Yeah, and
It's wild.
It's not rare.
No.
That's not like a every once in a while thing.
Every
That's
night.
fairly regularly. Like people will come for the weekends and I will see them, like I start at 7. I'll see them at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then I'll see them and I'll be like, yeah, have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
At 3 a.m. And then they go home.
Yeah.
Or they go back to their room.
When I leave,
and then they'll come back the next day.
See you guys tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Oh, party pit. I love being party pit. If you're a girl and you fit what they're asking for, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I love the outfits. I love getting ready. I like doing my hair, doing my makeup. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
We have music. The vibe is different. Like I said, I used to be a regular dealer.
Right.
And being a regular dealer is kind of boring. You get a lot of attitude from players. Players treat you very differently when you're wearing a long sleeve t-shirt.
Yeah.
And they treat you way differently when you're half naked.
Right. And you can easily make a mistake and be like,
right.
As a party pit dealer.
Yes, all the time.
Like,
all the
my
time.
Goodness. Like I say that all the time. I'll be like, my brain just went that way for a second. I don't know what happened. Here's your money though.
You play right into it.
Yes.
Party pit's where it's at. If you guys want to come play.
So fun.
Come to the party pit.
More fun. Plus, it's just the best time in Vegas.
It really is. That's the whole
frame.
reason.
Like you go out, you come to Vegas, you go out at night, you spend all night out. Like that's everyone's Vegas story, right? Mm-hmm. And that's when the party pit girls are out.
We're definitely going to go out though. We're going to go out to these party pits and we're going to show you guys on our social media or on our Patreon or somewhere. And we're going to show you guys party pits. If you have never been to Vegas, or maybe you've come to Vegas and you've never seen a party pit, which is kind of wild if you've never seen one, but we'll take you around.
Yeah. And we're going to rank them. We're going to come up with a scale and rank them on things.
And they're going to hate us. I don't know if there are other shows with dealers. I'm not sure. Or casino podcasts. I'm not sure. I know there isn't one about party pits. And I've wanted for so long to just shout out to the world what I do for work and what it really is. We are discussing kind of the intro. What we wear, what we do, kind of the casinos here and which ones have party pits, but the dirty, oh man, the stuff we hear, the stuff we have to deal with. Imagine working with 30 other girls all in the same room. That in and of itself, I wish we could have a reality show because it would be amazing.
Yeah.
It would have so much drama.
That would be a good show.
It would be so good.
Between like the party pit girls, the floors, the managers.
It would be amazing. I told you, I think I was talking to you back in the day at the beginning of reality TV. It was really old. It was like maybe first season of Jersey Shore days. Okay. Like way back in the day. There was a reality show here in Vegas where the old Hard Rock used to be, which is now Virgin, right? It's the Virgin Hotel. That's where Hard Rock used to be. And I think it followed the Day Club. And it was so much drama and it was so juicy. And I remember when I got into Party Pit here in Vegas, I was like, if we could somehow get a reality show in one of these party pits, we would make such great TV.
It would be wild for sure.
Ooh, if we could have a reality show. The stuff players say to us, the things that happen when we get off of work, dealing with each other, coworkers,
the disconnection between management and party pit.
Or even the regular dealers to us. You know how
the
much
regular dealers
crap
to us.
the regular dealers talk about us?
The regular
Not all of them.
to us. Not all of them.
I'm not going to put them all, because some of them fully support us and love us. Yeah.
Some of them want to be us.
Right. But some of them, oh my, they hate us.
Yeah.
They hate us. Hearing them talk about us, it's like we're idiots. It's just like it infuriates me, but I think it would make good TV.
I do too. You know, I used to tell my husband when my husband and I were dating that, because I used to party all the time. All of my friends were nightclub hosts, cocktail servers at nightclubs. Like I was in a nightclub 2 to 4 days a week.
Yeah.
On call. Like every Wednesday for 2 years, I went to One Oak.
Oh, One Oak. I never went to that one. I know.
I was devastated when One Oak closed. So I used to tell my husband all the time that everyone thought I was stupid. And I loved it. Because I'm not. and I'm incredibly smart to suck my own dick. I'm like incredibly smart, book-wise and street-wise. And my favorite thing was that people thought I was stupid.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things at work. I don't want to shit on people. Being a dealer can be a full career and you can totally retire from it. But I know a lot of people who talk shit about us don't want it to be their career. And that's the part I hate the most because, like, you hate on me so bad and that's a reflection of you. You don't like your job. Don't be mad at me because I like my job.
Yes, I think that's something, being a dealer and working in casinos too, you see how it beats people down.
Yeah.
Like everyone sees those dealers at the big high-end casinos who have been there for 30, 40 years and they're standing like this and they're like,
they're so grumpy. They're so miserable.
They don't talk. They don't smile. They don't do anything. And they're just miserable. And everyone talks about, because I've only been dealing for 2.5 years now. And I've worked in casinos and I've worked in nightlife, but like dealing, I've only been doing for like 2.5 years. And everyone always tells me like, nope, a few more years in, it's going to beat you down. It's going to beat you down. And I'm like, if you let it beat you down. But I feel like for a majority of people, it definitely beats you down. And I think for the black and whites at our casino who are older and who aren't in a higher end casino, they look at us who are like young and have opportunities and stuff. And they're like, I don't have that anymore. And that's why they don't. That's why there's such a disconnect. But that's just my thought on it. I don't know.
They don't have to be mean to us.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think people are just mean in general.
But I think the lure of being a party pit dealer, because I was a regular dealer, is the fact that it is temporary. For me, at least. For me, I'm like, I'm in it for a good time, not a long time.
Right. I just had that conversation with somebody actually about it being temporary and just getting in, making your money, doing it while you can.
Right.
And then using it to do something else.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way I see myself being a party pit dealer right now. It's temporary. I've gone back and forth. I've stopped dealing. I've come back to dealing. I could have been a regular dealer. I always come back to a party pit because I'm like, if I'm going to deal, I want to have a good time dealing. So that's what I'm going to do. And that's not to say you can't be a regular dealer and not have a good time, because there are plenty of regular dealers when I go play where we have a blast.
Yes.
We have a blast.
Yes.
So
I've had moments like that. And you look at, she has been in this industry for so long. She taught her daughter how to deal. Her daughter worked in our party pit for a little while. And she is just ecstatic every day.
She is.
And she still draws people in.
Yeah, she does.
She's like, hey, $15 table.
Yeah.
Like, you should come play with me. Like, she's still great. Like, I've had a few really good experiences with regular dealers on the strip, but I've had some really bad experiences too.
And the thing is, when you're a dealer, you're working for tips. So it just doesn't make sense. And when I play, oh my God, the best players, well, sometimes, most of the time, the best players to have are other dealers, because they fully know, you fully know, you're a dealer, you're giving me money.
Yes.
Even if you're losing, you're giving me money.
Yes. Girl, you put like a few shots in me and I'm giving the dealer next to me money for my blackjacks. Like, I'm tipping my dealer and the dealer who's at a dead table at the game next to me. Like,
right.
Yeah.
So
the best players I've had that I've made a significant amount of money on that I can recall off the top of my head, like my top 5 biggest tippers,
have been other dealers.
Three. I think out of my top 5, 2 of them were dealers.
Yeah. So there's nothing worse for a dealer perspective to go want to play blackjack and have a good time, to get somebody who doesn't make eye contact, who doesn't talk to you, who is upset the whole time, and you're just like, I killed the vibe.
Yeah. Yes. But also, like, you go to Vegas to have fun.
Right.
And
Vegas,
like, we
vacation.
live in Vegas, and when I go out, I'm like, we're having fun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. So I want to play with people that are having fun and having a good time. Okay, Changing 100. Make sure you follow us on everywhere you can get podcasts: Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah. Maybe TikTok.
Maybe a TikTok.
Maybe a TikTok.
I love watching TikToks, but I don't have a TikTok. But yes, maybe TikTok. And
I think you covered it all. YouTube, Instagram, maybe a TikTok, and then all podcasting platforms.
Yes.
We are going to start a Patreon. Patreon's going to have exclusive content. It'll be what you don't hear on the public platform.
There you go.
We're going to have things that we don't necessarily want on these readily available. We're going to put them behind a paywall. So if you guys want to get more juicy dirt, you're going to have to go find our Patreon. We'll have it linked. Some things need to go behind a paywall.
Yeah. Yeah, to save our jobs.
Yeah. So I guess, okay, we're going to close the episode out. This has been episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we didn't feed you guys too much information. And to close it off, I want to talk about the title of the podcast, the name of this podcast, which we did not talk about at all. The podcast is called Changing 100. As a dealer, when a player comes and gives you money, anything 100 and over, you have to yell out to your supervisor, also known as a floor. That's what we call them. They're a floor.
Or a pit boss.
Or a pit boss.
What most people know them as, pit bosses.
Yeah. So if you come to my table and you put $100 on the table and I change your $100, it goes both ways. I either say change 100 or changing 100.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the name of our show.
Yes. That way the supervisors in the casino can keep track of the money coming in.
Right.
So you have to call it so then they can put it in the computer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's where the name came from.
Yep. And all of our industry people are like, obviously. And
I
then
know.
For people who have no idea, now you know.
There you go.
So that's it. Episode 1.
Yay.
I want to close these out by saying, don't forget, if you're going to go play, to tip your dealers, tip your cocktail waitresses, and don't walk through the pit.
Don't walk through the pit.
Don't walk through the pit.
That needs to be on every episode.
Making a t-shirt that says, don't walk through the pit.
Don't walk through the pit. We'll have to talk about that one episode. Maybe we can talk about that during the people episode.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Well, bye. See you guys next time.